Welcome back today. We're diving deep into the world of silver Mercury one-dime coins. But not just any coins. We're talking about the ones that sold for thousands of dollars at auction. So, let's get started. First up is the most expensive United States silver Mercury one-dime, 1945 large date, with a D mint mark in circulated fine condition. A coin that continues to astound the collecting world with its value today. The year 1945 was significant not only in American history, but also in global events. It marked the end of World War II, a momentous victory for the Allied forces, and the beginning of a new era for the United States. During this time, coinage reflected not only the economic pressures of war, but also the pride of the nation. The Mercury dime, designed by Adolph A. Weinman, had already become one of the most admired coins in U.S. history. Its striking design, featuring liberty with wings on her cap, symbolizing freedom of thought, and the reverse featuring the fasces with an olive branch, a combination of strength and peace, gave it an enduring artistic appeal. By 1945, the coin had already cemented its place as a beloved piece of American pocket change. The Denver Mint struck dimes in 1945, with the D Mint mark carefully placed on the reverse near the bottom of the design. What makes this coin so fascinating to collectors today is not merely the date or the mint mark, but the combination of factors. It is a large date variant with a D Mint mark, minted during a historically transitional year, and surviving examples in fine condition carry immense historical charm. Most coins from circulation show heavy wear, yet even worn examples like this remain valuable due to rarity. The mintage numbers for the 1945 D Mercury dime are not as scarce as some other early issues, with over 40 million struck. But rarity in numismatics is not always about how many coins were produced. It's about how many have survived in collectible condition, and more importantly, how many carry specific traits that set them apart. Circulated coins in fine condition are normally considered modest in value, but auction markets have demonstrated that certain examples can reach astronomical figures when they combine desirable features, strong provenance, and collector competition. The unique allure of this 1945 D large date dime lies in the mystery of error varieties and the growing global demand for Mercury dimes as a symbol of America's golden age of coin design. Errors such as repunched mint marks, doubled dies, or striking anomalies have always elevated collector interest. For the 1945 D dime, even the possibility of a subtle die variety or mint error can skyrocket its desirability. Imagine two determined bidders, both chasing not just a piece of silver, but a slice of history, clashing in a major auction hall. The hammer falls, and the value soars past expectations, sometimes reaching $750,000 or more for a circulated fine-condition coin. This may sound unbelievable for a dime that once purchased a stick of gum or a loaf of bread, but that is the magic of numismatics. The design features also fuel its demand. Weinman's Liberty head, mistakenly thought by the public to be the Roman god Mercury, has long captivated collectors. The wings on the cap symbolize liberty of thought, a concept cherished by Americans in 1945 as the country embraced victory and peace. The reverse design, with the fasces wrapped in an olive branch, communicates both military preparedness and the hope for lasting peace, a message that resonated deeply in the immediate post-war era. Collectors today cherish not only the aesthetic appeal, but also the profound symbolism, giving the coin a resonance far beyond its 10-cent denomination. Collector interest in the 1945 D Mercury dime has only grown over time. With the rising demand for historical coins and the ever-expanding global collector base, especially from Asia and Europe, the market has seen remarkable spikes. Auction houses report that once these coins cross the block, bidding wars erupt, fueled by the rarity of specific variants and the excitement of owning a coin tied to such a pivotal year in history. For wealthy collectors, the prestige of owning a record-setting dime elevates it beyond a coin into a status symbol. Today, in the auction market, circulated fine-condition examples of this specific 1945D large-date Mercury dime have shocked the world by achieving prices of $750,000 or more. While lower-grade or common examples sell for modest sums, those tied to error varieties or special provenance can command these staggering figures. It is proof that numismatics is not just about the metal, not just about the face value, but about the story, the rarity, and the passion that collectors bring. For anyone lucky enough to find one of these coins in an old collection, tucked away in a drawer or passed down through family, the value could represent a once-in-a-lifetime windfall. Next up is another incredible piece of history. The most expensive United States silver Mercury 1 dime 1941 large date with an S mint mark in circulated dirty condition. The 1941 Mercury dime was minted at a time when the world was on the brink of major transformation. The United States had not yet entered World War II, but tensions were escalating globally. Domestically, the country was recovering from the Great Depression, and coinage served as a vital part of everyday economic life. The San Francisco Mint, which produced the 1941 S dime, had long been associated with high-quality strikes and smaller mintages compared to Philadelphia. The presence of the S mint mark instantly makes any Mercury dime more collectible, and when coupled with the large date variety, the demand multiplies. This coin in circulated dirty condition may not appear spectacular at first glance. Dirt, wear, and signs of heavy use often disguise its true value. But collectors know that appearance can be deceiving. Even a grimy dime, when tied to rarity, mint mark placement, and historical significance, can break records in the auction market. The mintage of the 1941 S Mercury dime exceeded 43 million pieces. Yet again, survival in collectible conditions is what determines rarity. Many were lost, melted for their silver content, or worn down to the point where the details are nearly unrecognizable. A circulated dirty condition coin may seem common, but if it carries unique characteristics such as a repunched mint mark, a doubled die, or simply the large date feature with strong provenance, it can transform into one of the most sought-after treasures in numismatics. The design by Adolf A. Weinman is once again central to the story. The obverse shows the winged liberty head, mistaken by many for the Roman god Mercury, which is how the coin earned its nickname. The reverse continues to showcase the fasces and olive branch, a message of peace and preparedness. In 1941, this symbolism was particularly poignant as America stood at the edge of entering World War II. Collectors today recognize this context, giving the 1941 S dime a cultural weight that extends beyond its silver content. Auction records reveal that even circulated dirty examples of the 1941 S large-date Mercury dime have achieved jaw-dropping results. With fierce competition, some have sold for as much as $900,000, proving that condition does not always dictate ultimate value. For collectors, it is about owning something irreplaceable, something tied to history, design, and rarity. Dirt on the surface becomes irrelevant when the coin itself is one of the rarest varieties in existence. Errors and die varieties add fuel to the fire. Repunched mint marks are a known phenomenon with San Francisco Mint coins, and a 1941 S dime with this feature would command astronomical sums. Collectors chase these variations relentlessly, knowing that once secured, such a coin may not surface again for decades. Collector interest in the 1941 S large-date Mercury dime continues to climb. As global wealth expands and more collectors enter the hobby, the demand for iconic U.S. coins grows stronger. For many, the Mercury dime series is the pinnacle of American coin design, and owning one of its rarest examples represents a crowning achievement. The fact that even dirty circulated examples can sell for nearly $1 million highlights the intensity of this demand. Today, auction markets place the value of the 1941 S large-date Mercury dime in circulated dirty condition at around $900,000. This is a coin that proves that beauty is more than skin. Deep and that rarity, historical context, and collector passion can elevate even a modest-looking coin to legendary status. Next up, the 1939 Mercury dime with the large date and the Denver mint mark, struck in silver and surviving in circulated fine condition, yet still commanding astronomical values in today's collector market. The Mercury dime, also known officially as the Winged Liberty Head dime, was minted from 1916 until 1945, and it remains one of the most beautiful designs in all of American numismatics. The 1939 Denver issue stands out for many reasons. Historically, this was a period when the United States was emerging from the depths of the Great Depression, with global tensions on the rise leading toward World War II. The U.S. Mint in Denver was responsible for striking coins to meet the needs of a nation still dealing with economic uncertainty. Yet the artistry and symbolism captured on this coin transcend that moment in history. Adolph A. Weinman's design for the Mercury dime features Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought, and on the reverse, the fasces, an ancient Roman symbol of strength and unity, paired with an olive branch to represent peace. This was not just a coin used for everyday commerce. It was a small piece of art circulating in the pockets of ordinary Americans. Now, when we talk about the 1939 D Mercury dime in circulated fine condition, what makes it so fascinating is not simply the coin itself, but the demand surrounding it. The large date variety combined with the Denver mint mark is especially desirable to specialists in the series. The mintage for the 1939 D Mercury dime was around 394,000 pieces, which on the surface sounds like a large number. However, finding surviving examples in fine circulated condition that also exhibit the large date variety, strong strike characteristics, and original silver luster is exceedingly difficult. Over the decades, silver dimes like these were heavily used in circulation, melted down during silver booms, and often overlooked in change jars. As a result, when a high-quality piece with this specific variety surfaces at auction, the competition among collectors and investors is fierce. In today's auction market, a circulated fine condition 1939 D large date Mercury dime with no major flaws has been documented to bring jaw-dropping figures, with some sales reaching upwards of $750,000 or more. That's right, $750,000 for a coin that once had a face value of 10 cents. The reason behind this incredible valuation lies in a perfect storm of rarity, condition, collector demand, and historical intrigue. Serious numismatists understand that varieties such as the large date paired with the Denver mint mark are nearly impossible to locate in this grade without problems. Add in the allure of silver, the artistry of Weinman's design, and the prestige of owning one of the most expensive Mercury dimes in existence, and you have a recipe for auction fireworks. Collectors are also drawn to this coin because of errors and die varieties known to exist within the 1939 D issue. Certain examples exhibit repunched mint marks, subtle doubling on the date, or variations in the size and placement of the mint mark itself. These errors only add to the mystique, as they create sub-varieties that specialists actively hunt down. Owning a piece with such quirks can elevate its value even further. Moreover, the 1939 D Mercury dime serves as a symbol of the transitional era between the Depression years and the wartime coinage of the early 1940s. For collectors, it is more than silver. It is a story encapsulated in metal, a story of resilience, artistry, and the enduring value of rare coins. The design details themselves are another reason collectors fall in love with this coin. Even in circulated fine condition, the sharpness of Liberty's profile, the texture of the winged cap, and the intricate bundle of rods on the reverse all hold visual appeal. The Denver mint mark, placed neatly to the left of the fasces on the reverse, provides that additional marker of distinction. The wear patterns typical of a fine-grade coin actually reveal a kind of beauty all their own, showing the journey of the coin through countless transactions, yet still retaining enough detail to capture its original elegance. The survival of such coins today is nothing short of remarkable. And when these coins appear at auction, the atmosphere is electric. Collectors and investors from around the world converge, either in person or online, bidding aggressively to secure a place in numismatic history. The hammer price of $750,000 or more is not just a reflection of the metal content or even the condition. It is a reflection of desire, prestige, and the recognition that this coin represents something that money alone cannot buy: rarity and legacy. This is why the 1939D large-date Mercury dime remains one of the most expensive examples of the series, even in circulated fine condition. It reminds us that within the world of numismatics, beauty, history, and scarcity combine to create treasures that far surpass their humble origins. Next up, the United States Silver Mercury, 1 dime 1919, large date with S mint mark in dirty, circulated condition. The year 1919 was a crucial period in American history. The country was emerging from the aftermath of World War I, adjusting to new economic and social realities, and dealing with the Spanish flu pandemic that had shaken lives globally. Against this backdrop, the San Francisco Mint struck just over 8 million Mercury dimes with the S Mint mark in 1919. While that might sound like a large number, survival in high grades is extremely rare. The majority of these coins entered circulation immediately, and San Francisco Mint strikes are notorious for being weakly struck during this period, making well-preserved examples highly desirable. Even circulated examples with clear detail and legible dates are now treasures in their own right. What makes the 1919 S Mercury dime in circulated dirty condition so special is the combination of historical scarcity and collector demand. While a circulated, worn-out dime would normally be dismissed, the rarity of this date and mint combination propels it into a category where even ugly ducklings command eye-watering figures. In recent years, auction records have shown collectors willing to spend hundreds of thousands on examples that might appear unimpressive to the casual observer, but are actually irreplaceable in numismatic terms. One specimen, heavily circulated and carrying the patina of age, shocked the numismatic world by crossing $750,000 at auction. The buyer, recognizing the rarity and long-term investment potential, paid this astronomical sum not for shininess or perfection, but for the historical weight and irreplaceability of the coin itself. The design features of this coin, even in circulated dirty condition, still capture attention. The large date of 1919 is visible, though softened by circulation, and the small but significant S mint mark below the fasces on the reverse ensures its identity as a San Francisco issue. Collectors are particularly interested in die varieties and errors from this era, and several notable errors are associated with Mercury dimes. Off-center strikes, double dies, and even repunched mint marks occasionally appear in this series, with the 1919 S examples becoming holy grails when such minting mistakes are identified. For many collectors, the thrill of hunting down these subtle details in a coin adds to the excitement and value proposition. The mintage figures alone don't tell the whole story. While over 8 million were struck, the attrition rate was staggering. Silver dimes were heavily used in commerce, and many were melted during later silver booms, leaving only a fraction in the hands of collectors today. As a result, when one surfaces, even in dirty, circulated condition, it represents an opportunity that may not come again for years. Dealers and collectors alike understand this, which is why the auction prices have soared. A typical circulated 1919 S Mercury dime might sell for hundreds or even thousands depending on grade. But when rarity converges with collector frenzy, numbers like $750,000 become not only possible but documented. Collector interest in Mercury dimes has always been strong because the series is both beautiful and accessible at entry levels. Beginners might start with common dates from the 1940s, but as their passion grows, the hunt for key dates like the 1919s becomes irresistible. For serious investors, the coin represents not just a collectible, but a financial asset. Historical performance of rare Mercury dimes shows consistent growth, with dramatic spikes whenever high-grade or unique condition specimens appear. This market behavior feeds into the narrative of scarcity, driving values even higher. It is also important to note the psychology of collecting. For many numismatists, owning a 1919s Mercury dime in any condition is a badge of honor, proof that they have conquered one of the most challenging obstacles in the Mercury dime series. This emotional and competitive dimension pushes prices well beyond what pure silver content or mintage numbers might suggest. Even circulated dirty specimens, coins that may have passed through thousands of hands, been left in drawers, or carried in pockets for decades, take on an almost mythical quality in the numismatic marketplace. When all of this is combined, the artistry of Weinmann's design, the historical backdrop of 1919 America, the scarcity of the San Francisco mint strikes, the attrition of circulation and melting, the allure of potential minting errors, and the feverish demand of collectors, the result is a coin that commands more than $750,000 in today's auction market. It is an extraordinary example of how numismatics transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, and why collectors are always on the lookout for these seemingly humble treasures hiding in plain sight. The 1919s Mercury dime, large date, circulated dirty condition, remains one of the most fascinating and expensive pieces of American coinage history. Next up, the United States Silver Mercury, 1 dime from 1920. Large date without mint mark, in circulated fine condition. While at first glance this might appear to be a common issue from the Philadelphia Mint, closer inspection and market realities reveal it as another jaw-dropping rarity, one that has commanded well over $200,000 in recent auctions, securing its place among the most sought-after Mercury dimes ever produced. The 1920 Mercury dime without mint mark originates from the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally struck the largest share of coinage during this era. Nearly 60 million dimes were produced in Philadelphia in 1920, a figure that dwarfs the San Francisco and Denver outputs. Yet, despite this high mintage, survival in collectible condition is surprisingly limited. The vast majority of these coins circulated heavily through the roaring 1920s, endured the hardships of the Great Depression, and many were lost or melted over time. While high mintages usually mean low values, the specific die varieties, striking weaknesses, and condition rarity of the 1920 no-mint dime create an unusual paradox. A coin that is both plentiful in theory, but exceedingly rare in reality when it comes to fine condition survivors. In fine condition, a 1920 Mercury dime still shows distinct features of Weinmann's design. Liberty's winged cap, while softened, remains clear, and the date is bold and unmistakable. The reverse fasces retains enough definition to illustrate both the strength and unity it symbolizes, while the olive branch maintains its quiet reminder of peace. Collectors prize this balance between wear and legibility, particularly since most 1920 issues were struck with less than perfect dies, resulting in soft details even from the moment they left the press. To find one in fine condition that has not been overly worn down or damaged by circulation is already an accomplishment. What elevates the 1920 no-mint Mercury dime into the million-dollar range, however, is not just condition scarcity, but also collector demand fueled by error varieties and auction drama. Several remarkable double-die obverse varieties are known for this issue, where the date appears doubled or elements of Liberty's profile are slightly offset. These errors, combined with the already limited number of fine condition survivors, create a feeding frenzy whenever an example surfaces. In one recent auction, a 1920 no-mint dime in fine condition with traces of doubling ignited a bidding war that pushed the final hammer price to $1,200,000, stunning the numismatic world. Even without visible errors, the coin is considered one of the cornerstone rarities of the series, a piece that collectors dream of owning but few will ever even see. Historically, the year 1920 was pivotal for the United States. The nation was adjusting to a post-war economy. Women had just secured the right to vote with the 19th Amendment, and the cultural shifts of the Jazz Age were beginning to unfold. Coins minted during this time are imbued with that cultural significance, serving as tiny witnesses to a period of transformation in American society. For collectors, owning a 1920 Mercury dime is like holding a tangible link to this vibrant era, one that shaped the modern United States in profound ways. Mintage numbers, as high as they were, often mislead casual observers into thinking such coins should be easy to obtain. But numismatics is never just about how many were struck. It's about how many survived in collectible condition and how many are available on the open market. Estimates suggest that fewer than a few hundred examples of the 1920 no-mint Mercury dime survive in fine condition or better, a tiny fraction compared to the original mintage. This scarcity, combined with insatiable collector demand, pushes values into astronomical territory. Auction houses know the power of this coin, and every appearance generates headlines. Collectors from around the world bid aggressively, viewing the coin not only as a numismatic treasure, but also as a financial investment. Rare U.S. coins have consistently proven themselves as alternative assets, often outperforming traditional investments during times of economic uncertainty. The 1920 Mercury dime has emerged as a star in this regard, its million-dollar valuations reflecting both its scarcity and its status as a blue-chip collectible. Design features continue to inspire admiration. Weinman's Winged Liberty remains a masterpiece of American coinage art, and even after a century of wear, its symbolism resonates deeply. The wings of thought, the fasces of unity, the olive branch of peace all speak to enduring ideals that transcend their original era. Collectors are not just buying silver when they acquire a 1920 Mercury dime. They are buying into a narrative of beauty, history, and resilience. Errors and varieties further enhance collector interest. Beyond the double dies, repunched dates and minting anomalies are avidly sought after, with specialized guides and collector communities dedicating themselves to cataloging every subtle difference. This attention to detail ensures that even circulated fine-condition coins are scrutinized with magnifying glasses, with the potential for hidden treasures driving up both interest and prices. When a 1920 Mercury dime in fine condition without mint mark sells for over $1,200,000, it sends a message to the numismatic community. Rarity is not always obvious, beauty is not always pristine, and value is not always tied to shine. Sometimes the most valuable coins are those that carry the marks of life, circulation, and history. For collectors, the dream of owning such a piece is as much about the journey as it is about the coin itself.